Greetings. Today we continue the fourth and final installment of Daniel's Battle for Truth from Daniel chapter 10 verses 4 through 13. We're picking up with the literal today of verse 12 where it says, "And he said towards me, You yourself be not fearing, Daniel, because away from the first day in which you gave your particular heart for the purpose to be comprehending and to be disciplined in the sight of your particular God, your particular words, they were heard, and I am come myself because of your particular words." There are given to us two great keys to the effectiveness of Daniel's praying here in Daniel 10:12. The first is he gave his heart for the purpose of the be comprehending. And the second is that he disciplined himself in the sight of God in order to be a clean vessel for receiving and using what he asked for. Daniel was told to stop being afraid, a case of direct address. Daniel was told that Gabriel's appearance was the direct answer to his request for knowledge. Now in verse 13, Gabriel will explain why he has not arrived sooner. Now, what a great principle for us today is taught in Daniel 10:13, where it says, "And the ruler, the chief prince of the kingdom of Persia, he had stood out as an opposition to me 20 days and 1 day. And behold, Michael, one of the first chief, the articular rulers or princes, he came to give assistance to me, and I left him behind there with the chief ruler, the chief prince of the kingdom of the Persians." We must recall that in Ephesians 2:2, the devil is called the prince of the power of the air. It says, "Wherein in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience." As the prince of the power of the air, the devil influences this world system. That is the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. 3 levels of satanic power exist: demonic influence, demonic control, and demonic possession. In Luke chapter 4, verses 5 through 7, which is a part of Luke's account of the wilderness temptation of Jesus, after he had fasted and prayed for 40 days, we find these words, "And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. And to whomsoever I will, or I desire, I give it. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine." Note the statement of fact. At that present time, as the prince in the power of the air, the power and glory of earthly kingdoms is under Satan's control, as he is under God's control, and he gives them to whomever he desires to give them. Do not overlook the stated condition of Luke 4:7. The worship of Satan. You know, there's a famous story about the devil and Daniel Webster, which is not told much anymore. In the story, a man has sold his soul to the devil for his, quote, 15 minutes of fame. And when the time comes for the devil to collect, the man hires the famous attorney, Daniel Webster, to get him out of the contract. Well, you know, there might be more truth and fiction to this fabled story. And yet, although Jesus did not take the devil up on his offer, history and God's coming judgment will reveal that many have taken the devil up on this offer. One could conclude that these 4 world kingdoms of which Daniel had seen a vision fit into this power. As the ruler of Persia at this time was being influenced by Satan as the prince of the power of the air. The language of this passage stresses the importance of the truth which Daniel was seeking in prayer was literally moving heaven and earth and trying to prevent an answer to his prayer on the one hand, and in trying to answer his prayer on the other hand. Ephesians 6 declares prayer is a vital and an integral part of the armor which God has supplied to allow us to be victorious in the spiritual warfare against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, as they're listed in verse 12. Daniel used this part of his armor, and the devil himself engaged Gabriel, who had been immediately dispatched to give him an answer for 3 weeks. When I went to school, 3 weeks equaled 21 days, and we'll leave it at that. These equal-ranking archangels were in apparent stalemate until Michael was sent to give assistance to Gabriel. Now, it might be understood in terms of one of our wrestling matches where one tags his partner, who then enters the ring to take over the engagement of the opponent. So Michael enters and engages Lucifer, Satan, and that frees Gabriel from the hindrance of the devil's opposition to then deliver the message from God. You know, you and I do not know the level of the behind-the-scenes warfare that is started when we pray, when we fast and pray for the hard kind of answers to things fervently and effectually, even today. I think we should take note that this might account for some of, quote, our delayed answers to prayers also. One of our most effective weapons in spiritual warfare is praying always, and yet many pray. No wonder we are so often and so easily defeated, because prayer is an essential weapon in our battle for truth.